Hi, my name is Caroline Thomas, and as Jane kindly presented, I am the joint course leader for the costume construction degree at Coleg y Cymoedd. Okay, so this degree is new for this year, but it is a revalidated degree that's based on 12 years of running a foundation degree and top up at the college in partnership with USW. So it's a very established course, and the aim of the course is to train a workforce for the industry. So to produce highly skilled costume makers that will go and be industry ready as soon as they graduate. So I have a presentation that I would like to share with you today. So I'm just going to put that up. Yeah. Okay. So can everybody see that? Hopefully they can. So I'm now going to introduce you to our course. It is a full-time degree course run at Coleg y Cymoedd, as I said. And the two things that this course really tries to do is to, as I said previously, train students for a career in the entertainment industry. Okay. We aim to give the students lots and lots of skills, and we aim to give them lots and lots of experience as well. Those are the two main things that we need to do. Our ethos on the course is to put this theory, these skills into practice in every aspect of what we deliver. So as my colleague Emma always says, the students that enter the course hit the ground running, and we are constantly responding to the ever-growing and diverse industry needs and focusing the content of the course and developing and changing the contents of the course in this responsive way to stay current and exciting for the students that we have. Okay, so as I said, this course is really well established. It is an award-winning course, so we have won lots and lots of different really high status awards for innovation in teaching and learning, putting this theory into practice, and also our students achieve awards and accolades whilst they're on the course as well, from the college, the university, and from wider afield as well. We enter competitions at national level, so students have the opportunity to, in this example, enter and compete nationally with other costume undergraduates at a really, really high level. So this is a competition in historical dress reproduction that we have actually won 3 times whilst the course has been running, and it's really competitive, and it puts the students into this sort of professional forum and gives them a high profile, you know, before they've even left the course. So this was the winning leather jerkin by Amy, the winning costume reproduction for that same competition, all made by hand. And students are expected to do a lot of research into historical dress for this and create them as they would have been made in the period that they existed, so using really traditional and craft skills. So this is one aspect of the course where we've really succeeded over the years, and as I go on with the presentation, I'll show you a little bit more about how that's sort of developed and grown over time. Okay. So this is some work in progress. This is again historical dress, so this is really looking at shapes, silhouettes, techniques that would have been used historically and recreating authentically these things. So this is a really good skill to learn. It's not a skill that is kind of used all the time within the world of costume and performance, but it's an essential skill to just kind of like really refine and hone in some traditional skills there. We have on the course lots and lots of recommendations from industry professionals, and our external examiners come from, for example, here we have Karen Lingwood at the National Theatre, who endorses the course and, you know, really believes in it, and shares our good practice again in the right sort of professional forums. And you know, very lucky to have people like this backing up the course at that level. And it's maybe quite interesting to say here that even though we are located just outside of Cardiff in Nantgarw, our students come from all over the country, and we have international students, and also our work experiences are geographically in abundance locally, but also we send our students much further afield in the UK. So the course content, year one. Okay, so year one really starts with some skills building. You know, working with a set of measurements. On entry into the course, some students have had no experience at all in terms of sewing and constructing, pattern making. So it starts with a set of measurements, and students get to create patterns, they get to make toiles, they get to fit these toiles, they go through the fitting process, all those other skills that are maybe not thought of when making a costume. So how to make the performer feel at ease, and to really understand that this costume, this beautiful thing, or sometimes not a beautiful thing, that is worn, is going to be a practical, functional thing, because sometimes they are beautiful dresses, and sometimes they might be, you know, I don't know, a peasant in a medieval film, so they're not always glamorous, but they're always suitable for purpose. Skills start with getting the students on the industrial sewing machines, giving them lots of pattern cutting skills, getting them to do lots and lots of construction, the fitting skills, the research skills, and we're fully equipped at Coleg y Cymoedd. We're resource rich in our college, and students, external examiners, industry professionals that come and link to the course, they all say this, and they all say that we replicate what is going on in industry. So the students have a real perspective of what they're going into right from day one. We also do some location shoots. So again, as Jane and Jess have already explained, we do collaborative projects in the college. So we work with the HE photographers, and we work with the HE hair and makeup students to create some fantastic results. So some more examples of fitting into final outcome here. So you can see this process. And then what's created at the end. So as I said, sometimes it's beautiful period garments that are reproductions, as in the competition. Sometimes they are worn for photo shoots, but it's not always beautiful, as I said, but it's always about character. So the students here are learning about distorting and reshaping the body to suit the character that they're being asked to make for. So myself and Emma, we were lucky enough to go up to the National Theatre and have some training ourselves. You know, we constantly keep updated with our training. We've recently been to Pinewood in London to upskill so that we can bring it back directly to the classroom and enrich the students with this current knowledge. And this was following our workshop at the National Theatre. So again, like I say, lots and lots of skills are learnt in year one, and also projects that are undertaken. So this is a year one project. So we're dealing with the basics to begin with of cutting and making a costume. And then in no time at all, we're doing some really innovative pattern cutting. And we're dealing with a sci-fi theme here. And really pushing the boundaries already, getting the students to discover thinking outside of the box with their pattern cutting. It's really diverse, it's really broad what they learn, and for example, we're back to period dress here. So in this example, we have used the body padding skills to distort the actor's shape. Then we've cut the pattern based on historical research, but it has a design element to it. And this is about interpreting the design. So as the students grow in their learning with the skills, then they start to interpret and they start to really bring their creativity to enrich that technical knowledge that they have discovered. So we also have lots of live links, lots of live projects where we work with external directors, designers, theatre companies, film companies, and they come to us now because we're lucky that they ask to be involved with us. And they offer us the opportunity to work as a costume team on their production. So working with professional theatre companies, and again, the diversity you can see here, you know, you have dresses, you have prop costumes, you have animal costumes, you know, it is really diverse. Again, collaborative work with props department here. It was a huge success. This went on at the New Theatre, and you can read some of the reviews there. You know, you'd be fooled into thinking you were watching a West End show. Well, that's a real endorsement, and you can see from the skill of the work. This is a second-year project, so this is right at the beginning of the second year. You know, so you can see the learning curve that these students go on. Another live project we did was Madagascar. So again, the students are understanding what is the design I'm working from, using those same skills, but applying them in a different way, because these costumes, as I'm sure you will agree, are very different to historical dress. So, you know, they work as a team, they learn teamwork, communication, they learn how to transfer those really key skills of working in a production team. They get to go to dress rehearsals, technical rehearsals, they get to work on the show when the show is at the theatre, and it really is the moment when they get to do this that the penny drops and they understand, this is why I'm doing this in the studio, this is how it all makes sense, I understand what it's all about. So we do lots and lots of local productions in the theatre and TV and film as well, but we also sometimes go further afield. This is a really good example of one of our wider links, if you like. So Dulcie, who is the costume supervisor for His Dark Materials, again tells the story in that quote how she recruited for the first series of His Dark Materials, not knowing that our students were, you know, I think 3 out of 4 were on the short list for the jobs that year, and they, you know, they were all from our course, and she really again endorses the course and just holds us up there as kind of, you know, real sort of movers and shakers in this field, which we're really, really pleased about. So year 2, we have more live industry projects and placements throughout the course. Again, you know, often our work on the course takes us to different locations. So we were lucky enough to do the opening ceremony of the World Skills 2012 in the O2. And also they get to work on pantomime. So there's, I suppose, in year 2, the work experience element of the course, which is definitely embedded in year 1, really cranks up in year 2, and they get to work again with a professional theatre company, professional actors. We try and do a pantomime every year. Unfortunately, we couldn't do one this year, but it really is something that gives the students those hard and fast experiences of putting their skills into practice. You can see some great costumes here for Peter Pan. Again, working with a professional designer, bringing those designs to life for the stage, for performers, to be worn, to be used, and practical. So you can see great stuff there. Another one, and again, you can see some great examples of costume interpretation. And again, this is a second year project, so this is before Christmas. In the second year, the students get to work on a real production with a real cast and crew, and they, you know, they love it. They absolutely love it completely. Okay, so students also get to work with the BBC training scheme, It's My Shout, and they get a big ceremony at the end of, I think it's like 6 short films. They get to work on them during the summer period, and that takes them all over Wales on location, and they get to do the costumes for a variety of different films, and they get a big award ceremony at the end where our students have actually scooped the top prize of best costume trainee on those films. So again, another additional experience. Here we have industry specialists coming onto the course. So we have tailors to come in, we have really specialist costume makers to do corsetry, to do millinery, to enrich the course. So as well as the course team, Emma, myself, and we have a costume technician, we're always bringing people in to give lectures, to give workshops, to enrich the course. We have a dye room as part of our resources, and we have a bespoke fitting room as well. So this is an example of a tailor coming in to work with the students. Again, this is a second year project, so they're getting into real specialist skills here, and the students got to make costumes for James Bond over the years, and you can see some great tailored garments there. At the end of year 2, the students get to work on a screen-based project. So they've had lots and lots of experience in the theatre with lots of stage costumes and how they are constructed. And then they get to choose a screen costume where we put this on the screen. We get them to really understand the difference in detail for stage and screen when they see it up close. And you can see the skill level here from the first slides I showed you from year 1 to year 2. Really some fantastic costumes, beautifully made and wearable, as you can see. And so varied as well. I think that's what really kind of comes across. So here we have Sean Price, Head of Costume, endorsing the course, saying that it's clear from all of the students who have worked at the Welsh National Opera that the knowledge of costume and the work ethic is second to none. So skipping ahead to year 3, I know I'm talking a lot, so hopefully you're still engaged. Year 3 is really the cherry on top of the cake. It is when all of those skills for stage, screen, technical, creative, work experience-based skills really come to the fore. And this was a project that we undertook 2 years ago. We've been running it for 2 years, and it was in collaboration with the National Museum of Wales, where students were given portraits to interpret and bring the canvases to life on models in a live event. And the models paraded through the galleries, open to the public, and really, yeah, took fashion out of the frame and showed it glory. So again, you can see the sort of stepping stones in terms of skill. you know, these really are interpretations that are second to none. It was really quite spine-tingling, this project, when you saw these, you know, costumes brought to life, and proud students, you know, just showing off their incredible work. This was so successful in year 1 that we made it bigger and better in year 2, and we're hoping that year 3, even though it's delayed for this year, it will continue in the future. So this set of pirates and lady is part of these final year students' major project. So they get to work with an individual brief, and they get to write their proposal for their final costume collection themselves. So this is an example of one project which dealt with pirates, and then we had an RT inspired sort of couture project, more pirates dealing with character, an opera project. This is Macbeth's Witches. This is a kind of circus themed, the Victorian inspired project. Again, don't forget, all of these students are working with leather, they're working with corsetry, they're working with tailoring. They're really putting these costumes on performers to be worn, and some really incredible work going on in the 3rd year. This is the Nutcracker, and they make everything from the skin up. So they literally started with a set of measurements, making all the undergarments and everything that goes on top, and all the accessories, and so on. So it's really varied. Again, I think you can see just the costume is anything and everything, really, as long as it's suitable for the purpose. Again, beautifully worked period costumes. So the weird and the wonderful, it all appears. It's whatever the student really that brief is in life. It can be any. And at the end of the year, at the end of the 3rd year, so at the end of 3 years, then the student graduates and is very skilled, very ready, industry ready is what I would say, for the workplace. And I just wanted to really round up with just saying that at the end of the course, the students are ready to pursue a career in costume, and they find themselves either in a job already with work lined up before they leave, and that's real testimony to our success on the course. I just wanted to sort of name drop a bit at the end, really, just to tell you where our students have ended up, and that we're just really proud that they come back and they sort of bring experience back to the course. They often ask us now to put forward suitable candidates for work, and they sometimes come back and speak themselves because they want to share, you know, their sort of journey and their experience. So we've had students graduate from the course and get work in the dye and breakdown department at Harry Potter Fantastic Beasts. We've had students work on Star Wars, Thor, James Bond, on his Dark Materials for Bad Wolf Studios. They've also worked for the BBC on things like Atlantis, Merlin, Downton Abbey, Young Victoria, Poldark, Casualty. We've even had students work at working in Disneyland, Florida, and we've currently just put 2 recent graduates into a new and exciting Lucas production film that's happening in our vicinity. So I just thought I'd name drop all of those things in there in case you're interested in applying to costume at Coleg y Cymoedd. You should come. It's fantastic. So thank you for listening to me. Sorry I've run over, and I just wanted to point you again in the direction of our course page, both on the college website, but also we have an Instagram and a Facebook page as well. But just get in touch with the college if you're interested.